The Lord be with you. This is a reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. After he had fed the people, Jesus made the disciples get into a boat and precede him to the other side while he dismissed the crowds. After doing so, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. When it was evening, he was there alone. Meanwhile, the boat, already a few miles offshore, was having a terrible time being tossed about by the waves, for the wind was against it. During the fourth watch of the night, Jesus came toward them, walking on the water. When the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified, and it was a ghost. And they cried out in fear. At once Jesus spoke to them, "Take courage, it is I. Do not be afraid." Peter said to him, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." And Jesus said, "Come." Peter got out of the boat, began to walk on the water toward Jesus. But when he saw how strong the wind was, he became frightened, and he began to sink, and he cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately, Jesus stretched out his hand, caught Peter, said to him, "O you of little faith, why did you doubt?" After they got into the boat, the wind died down. Those who were in the boat with him gave him homage, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." This is the gospel of the Lord. Last Sunday, at the beginning of the gospel, you hear that Jesus learned that his cousin John the Baptist was murdered by King Herod. And he's immediately disturbed. And he gathers a couple of the guys and he says, "Come on, get in the boat. Let's get out of here. I need to be alone." They head off across the lake to a deserted place. When they get there, here's this huge crowd of people. And they're all hurting and they're in pain and they need help. And so Jesus puts aside his need to be alone, to mourn his loss, and he starts helping them. And he cures people and he lays hands on them and he talks with them and comforts them and drives out demons and all day long. And then a couple of his guys come to him toward the end of the day and say, "Hey, it's getting dark. They got to eat. They better get out of here." And, "Oh yeah, they need to eat. Well, let's feed them." So he did. Got everybody to sit down, fed them all, 5,000 men, plus women and children. They all ate, were satisfied. They got everybody up, got them moving, got them heading out, picked up the mess. Jesus sent his followers onto the boat and says, "Go on off, start ahead of me. I'll catch up." And he goes up the hillside and spends some time alone praying. Then after a while, he heads back down, starts to head home. Instead of walking all the way around the lake, he walks across it. Gets out there several miles, and here's that boat with his followers in it, and they're having a terrible time. The wind is blowing, and they're not getting anywhere. So he has to stop and help them. Well, now, that's who our God is. Our God will set aside some things that God's busy with in order to help us when we need it. That's who Jesus is. That's who Jesus says we need to be. We need to be people who are willing to set aside our need, whatever it is, because somebody else is in pain, is hurting, needs something. Oh. Right now at St. Charles, we're in the middle of huge disorder. We've got all the, besides the virus that's upset everything, we've got construction all over the place. De La Salle North Catholic is moving in, hopefully in a little over a year. Bunch of high school students coming in to take over our buildings. To do that, we need to upgrade the buildings. The buildings are 70, 60, 50 years old. They need seismic work. The heating system is antique and needs to be replaced. The electrical is added on to, attached to a mess. It needs to be redone. The plumbing needs to be upgraded. 2 new buildings, a gym and a cafeteria service center. Parking is all going to be changed. Our offices are going to move. Everybody is going to be inconvenienced. All of us. Why? So that we can help those high school students who are being pushed out of their home. They don't have any place to go. They need a home. So what has St. Charles always done? Well, the last 10 or 15 years have been relatively quiet, but go back in 1950 when we first moved here, every 2, 3, 4 years, we were in an uproar. A new building going up, a parking lot going in, a convent, more and more students, kids everywhere. Were we inconvenienced? Yeah, but we wanted to help. So now it's happening again. St. Charles is being asked to be inconvenienced, to put their needs to the side a little bit so that others can be helped. This next year during construction, it's just going to be, who knows what's going to happen from week to week. We'll manage. We'll make it work. And then after that, once the students are here, we're going to spend a year or two bumping into each other all over the place. We're going to be in their way, they're going to be in our way. We're going to step on their toes. They're going to step on our toes. It'll take a while till we learn how to work together easily and competently and successfully. But that's what St. Charles has always done. And we've done it very, very well through the century. So let us continue this year following Jesus' example, willing to put aside our needs for the moment so that we can really help others.